Hi guys, sorry if this video is not of that great of quality. I'm just sitting in my vehicle right now. During lunchtime, I just got a call from my reproductive endocrinologist. Today is Monday, so she was pretty quick to give me a call and talk about things. The conversation went really well. I'm actually glad that her and I are on the same page about things. She did state again that the test showed again that I did not ovulate, which we already knew that I have problems ovulating on my own. I mean, the tests last year were evident of that. For some reason, and maybe I need to look back at like my fertility friend chart, but for some reason she only shows that I took Clomid for 3 months, and I know that's not right. Like I remember thinking back then that I had exceeded the amount of months I could take it. So I know I took it for 6 months. I know at first I started out with 50. They upped me to 100. And then at one point I was even getting ultrasounds, and I was taking the HSG shot, which I requested myself to get the trigger shot to make sure the eggs were being released. So with that being said, like I think it was longer than what she has accounted for. She actually only has it noted that I had ultrasounds for 2 months, and then that there may have been some treatment before that. But I'm like, lady, I'm sure it was 6 months. But anyway, at any rate, she told me she didn't think I needed Clomid again. But then when I explained to her about my ex having his sperm issues and things like that, like, I know the treatment was working for me. It just was, it's a two-way street. One side can't bring their 50% and the other side not. So like I told her, that's what I was trying to tell her in August when I saw her again, was that the ex had issues with his sperm. So it didn't matter how well I was responding to the treatment because his sperm were getting nowhere, so yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. And well, his sperm were getting play. I can't say they had bad motility. I think morphology was his issue and something else. His count was fine. But yeah, there were some other issues going on. I did think about getting the sperm check test. I don't know if they sell these where you guys are, but I just recently saw commercials about them. The sperm check over the counter test you can buy. It's called Sperm Check. It's like $40. I think they're being sold at Walgreens and stuff like that. However, when I looked it up, it only tests, first of all, it looks like a pregnancy test. So it has 2 lines, and it only tells you whether or not you have a low or normal sperm count. It doesn't give you any numerical figures. It just gives you 2 lines. And I could just imagine the frustration with looking at these lines, just like you do with a pregnancy test or ovulation test. Like, what does this mean? And for it to be $40, I feel like I might as well put the money towards actually getting the semen analysis for my partner, to really get the full value of a full scope semen analysis. It tells you the volume, the pH, the fructose level, the motility, the morphology, mobility, all of that stuff. Like the count. It tells you all of that stuff, like how many millions are actually in this modal zone. Like it breaks it down by millions and all this other stuff that you just can't get from this over-the-counter test. So it's kind of pointless to put my money towards that. So that's what I've decided. I do want him to get a semen analysis. And again, I mentioned this in my last video, there is a conversation that needs to be had still yet about it. And this is why I say that too, because this is why I was also saying that me and my fertility specialist are on the same page, because one of the questions she asked me, she said, are you ready? Like, are you really ready to do this? So she's like, I don't mean to sound funny, but like, are you really ready to do this? And I said, no, absolutely. Like, and I'm glad you say that. I totally know what you mean. Like, I'm not offended by it. Like, that's what I've been saying. Like, this time, like, I'm not going through this again. Like still for a first child. So like, it's just, this is the third strong go attempt with a different partner. Third partner, third attempt at really going hard, not third cycle, but like, I tried with my ex-husband, I tried with my ex-boyfriend, and now I'm trying with this partner. So this is my third attempt at really giving a go with a different partner though. I'm shaking my camera like crazy because I'm shaking my body, but sorry. So I am like trying to go all in. Each time I say I step it up a notch. And this time I did ask about the postcoital testing. And, when I read about it, a lot of websites that I stumbled across, they said that doctors don't usually get the value of doing postcoital tests. So a lot of doctors actually frown upon it. So I was kind of like curious what her response would be. She did say that they don't do them. So that's one thing that I guess I won't be getting. But essentially, you only need the postcoital test if your partner refuses to get a semen analysis. So let's just say you don't get the semen analysis. Your partner refuses to do that, or he just does not feel comfortable with it. You can get the postcoital test, which is done 2 days. See, I read up a little bit. 2 days prior to ovulation, and excuse me, you so at this time you should essentially have some kind of fertile mucus in there. You do not use any lubricant, so no pre-seed. But this night you do, you have intercourse 2 to 8 hours before you go to the doctor's office, and you don't use any kind of lubricants or anything. You just have intercourse. And then the next day, 12 to 8 hours later, when you get to the doctor's office, your doctor's office will do something as similar to a PAP. They'll do a smear, try to collect as much of that seminal fluid as they can, in your cervical fluid, whatever, the mixture of the two. And they'll check that out to see how much sperm is still swimming around. Is it a ton of dead sperm? Is it, whatever, is there, that's what they're looking for. How much sperm is still in the cervical fluid. Are they swimming around? Are they dead? What's happening? Because then that also opens the door to like immune deficiencies and stuff like that. Like maybe you have antibodies in there that are killing away the sperm and stuff like that, to where they're not even having a shot. So that kind of opens the door for other, infertility issues. But at the same time, like I said, a lot of doctors don't see the value in it when they can do other tests, I guess, to determine the same thing. So yeah, I won't be having a postcoital test done, but I will be having him do a semen analysis before I take any more Clomid. I want to make sure that everything is not correct, but I'm not like I said before, I'm not assuming anything. Like for me to take Clomid again and do this for 4 to 6 months, because that's what she said today, 4 to 6 months of Clomid. And the ultrasounds again, like this is going to be an aggressive attack at trying to conceive, because she's like, if the Clomid does not work, after the 4 to 6 month treatment, then we're going to have to go on to more aggressive measures. So that's why she's like, are you really ready? And that's what I'm telling her. Like, I'm really ready. I'm trying to make sure he's really ready. Excuse me. And go from there, because this time, like I said, this is not games at all. Like this will be the third strike, so I gotta believe that the third time's a charm, so that's where I'm at with that. I am cycle day, okay, I am cycle day, let's see, 19, I'm cycle day 22. Will my flow show as she normally has, like 30, 31 days? Who knows? Like, I tend to think that if I don't ovulate, I won't get my period, but nothing has changed over the past few months, except that I took Clomid the 1 month, but it's still been regularly coming at the same time each month, regardless of Clomid or not. So that's the interesting part. It's like, how are you having regular periods but not ovulating? I have no clue. She still doesn't really even think I need Clomid. She just thinks, continue to lose weight and keep on trying to be healthy and stuff like that, and things will happen as they should happen. But I still feel like there's quite a bit more weight I have to lose to actually get my body back to being normal hormone wise, to where it's doing what it should be doing. But anyway, I asked her about my ovulation. As I mentioned in the last video, that Thursday before I got my blood drawn, I got a test that was so ridiculously dark. Like, I thought it was positive, and I think that if I had tested earlier in the day, maybe the positive would have occurred. And in that instance, if I would have gotten a positive OPK on Thursday, then, and you ovulate anywhere from 12 to 72 hours after that, is that when I went on Friday morning to get my blood drawn at 7 something, chances are I hadn't ovulated yet, so that would be true. But does that mean that I still haven't ovulated? Sorry, I'm just like coughing up a storm here. But she also said too that could mean that I didn't miss my ovulation, and that maybe I just ovulated later. I don't know. At any rate, I have not really baby danced at all ever. Like, I don't know. I have not really been baby dancing. So even if I did ovulate later, the chances are going to be slim. But, I'm trying to have faith and have hope that, some things are, still going to happen for me. So I'm trying my best to stay positive here, and I'm not going to give up, and I'm going to continue with this fight. And, this is probably going to be one of the hardest goes that I give it, but I am going to talk to him first, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. It's going to be an interesting conversation because, it's hard to talk to people about trying to conceive as it is, like the people who don't go through it, because most people do not have to. So it's already like a tough conversation to have with anybody for that matter, let alone a man who you're seeing now who has kids already and he did not try for them. Like they just surprised him, and even though he brings up kids more than I do, well, he's the one that always brings them up. Oddly enough, I let him bring it up. But he's the one that always brings it up, and he's the one that says he wants it sooner than later because he's not getting any older. He is 40. So do I think that he'll want to postpone this? I don't know. I mean, I don't see him wanting to, only because he's always like, why are you not pregnant yet? I'm worried about my swimmers and stuff like that. But you never know how these conversations are going to go, and that's what makes me nervous, because it's like, you didn't have to try for those other two you have, but guess what? This one, yeah, you're going to have to try. You're going to have to put some effort in it. You're going to have to know that I need assistance with this, that you're going to have to understand that. And it's like, I've been not having this discussion with him because I didn't want to bring him into the craziness. I didn't want to freak him out, but this is the truth of the matter, because this is the third, like I said, this is my good third round, go about whatever. And I'm taking no prisoners. I am just trying to make it happen the best way I know how, and as aggressively as I know how, if I have to. I want my child already. And it has nothing to do with anybody else. And, I know a lot of times we get judged, we kind of can get judgmental in other people's situation. Like, well, this person has such and such and such and such. And people always want to tell me that, don't compare, don't feel like you have to rush and have kids. You're only 30, whatever. And, because I am in my 30s, but you're only 30 something. So you don't have to rush and try to compare yourself. It has nothing to do with anybody else. I have been trying, not consecutive years, but I've been trying since I was 20 years old, 20, and I'm in my 30s now. This is ridiculous. This has nothing to do with anybody else. This has to do with my desire to be a mother. And that's it. I've been wanting to be a mother since I was in my 20s, taking care of everybody else's children. I've been wanting to be a mother since then. And before that even, but that's when I really started, trying and wondering why I wasn't getting pregnant, even though in school they tell you, if you're even in the room with a man, you'll get pregnant. They have you scared to death to where you're taking birth control for all these years and actually jacking up your body. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. Somebody really, well, I wouldn't say that, not really get into the school systems and tell these young girls not to take birth control. But I mean, it's really not, it's not optimal. I don't know. It's crazy. But at any rate, this is for no one but me. I'm not desiring a child or wanting a child or in pursuit of children just to please or appease anybody. I don't care about any pressure I receive from anybody. I never have cared about family pressure or anything else. And I really don't get it. My mother does not bug me about it. My father does not, nobody says that kind of stuff to me. When are you going to have some kids? Nobody does. it's all about me, and it's all about my desires to be a mom and how long I've been wanting this, so that's what it's about. And it's also about me wanting to enjoy this time while I can, and while I'm younger and able to move around and chase this kid, stuff like that. Like, I want to be able to enjoy those years and not be, I want to be around for them having kids. Like, I don't want to be too old doing this thing, So those are concerns of mine, and I don't know. But again, this conversation I have to have and see what he says. Like I said, I don't know if he'll want to push it off, because he always says stuff like, why aren't you pregnant yet? And at the same token, even if he does say he wants to push it off for a little bit, I'll have to make him realize, like, dude, even though I say, I want your sperm checked and I'm going to take these drugs to make me ovulate, that does not mean it's going to happen. We could potentially do 6 rounds of Clomid and still not end up pregnant and have to move on to like IUI or something, you just never know. So just, it's no need to like rush and, no need to like delay it to think that we're rushing, because we all know this kind of stuff doesn't happen overnight anyway. So, even with saying we'll start trying now or whatever, or we'll start, we'll get the semen analysis done and then start trying after that. Either way, this still could be a long time coming, but I want to make sure that he's on track and he knows exactly what I'm trying to accomplish, so he doesn't do anything stupid. Like, I'm not even going to get into all that, but, I think it'll just work out better. So that's my story for today. I'm trying, I don't know if you guys would like to see my face every day, but generally I do have something to say, and I have no one to talk to about it. Like, I really don't. And, well, sometimes I talk to my best friend about it, and she totally, bless her heart, she has 3 kids, and, she understands because she knows how long I've been dealing with this, but, she has enough going on in her life right now that, she, as soon as we're on the phone, I want to hear her. I want to hear what she's going through and stuff like that. And it's like, my story's always the same. Well, this is, it's always the same. Still not pregnant, blah, blah, blah. So when I try to somewhat suppress, what's going on with me until maybe a once a week update for her. Suppress it into one update a week, so that we're not so focused on the notion that I still don't have a child in my life and that I'm not pregnant. So, because our issues are very real, very current, very now, very crazy. So it's better for me to just kind of sit back and have an open ear to that, and not, focus on, everything that's wrong with my issues. So when I do get to talk about it, it's like, oh, I might as well record and just go jabberjaws on it. So that's what I'm doing right now to you guys, is going jabberjaws on it. So, yeah. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys like me doing daily crap or every other day or stuff like that, or if I'm doing too many videos, or even if I'm doing too many and really ain't talking about nothing. My life is not that interesting. I go to work, I work out. Oh, but I am about to start an organization project in my home, because I need to. I am not a hoarder, but I am a hoarder. If that makes sense. I have a neat place. I will say this. I have a very neat place. However, there are certain items that I hoard. So I won't say that I'm a total hoarder, but there are certain items, like clothing mainly, that I hoard. I have several bins of clothing that, first of all, I have clothing in all sizes. I have jeans from size 5 to size, to my current size now. So I got rid of anything that was bigger than that. I did. So I have gotten rid of bigger clothes, because I'm not going back there. I'm not, getting up there. And then there's some that's really small, a size 4 or 5. I don't plan to get that small either. So guess what? You can also go. So I don't plan to get that small. So, there are there's a lot of clothing, pretty much. And I need to get back to the notion, well, not get back, get to the notion, because I was never there. I was never there before, but that, you know, if you haven't worn something in a year to 2 years, chances are you're not going to wear it and you need to get rid of it. And I've gotten rid of a lot of clothes and I still have a ton of clothes. It's ridiculous. So that is my main thing, is clothing and sorting that stuff out. And then it would be like bathroom stuff. So like more, like, I wouldn't even say bathroom stuff, but more so like beauty supplies, like shampoos, conditioner, hair products and stuff like that. Like, have a ton of that kind of stuff, you know, that I just